Hello, everyone. Welcome to the MsTexasShow with your co-host, Elena Georgiou. And excited, as always, to bring you another edition of our show and another wonderful, wonderful guest. And that guest today is Busayo from Nigeria. And she's a certified Imagine Agency Empowerment Workshop trainer, coach, and gender AIDS effectiveness with 10 years of working extensively in gender-related areas as a founder, CEO of Women Inspiration Development Center. Busayo is the program manager in Nigeria for an international initiative, Imagine, delivery agency, and we're going to talk about how to end violence against women and girls. And we're super excited to have Busayo with us today to tell us more about her story, her journey, and all the wonderful things she has done, and the wonderful ways she helps others. So with that, we will have Busayo on the show. So we look forward to having her and talking with all of you.
The Texas Show is a voice of hope for victims, survivors, advocates, and community leaders against gender-based violence to share their stories and resources. We began showcasing life in Texas. Today, we are impacting lives not only in Texas, but also around the world. Under our segment Military Time, we run this segment in partnership with the National Veterans Chamber of Commerce. We invite military and veterans who have overcome traumatic events to share their experiences during and after their military service. Under our beauty segment, we invite fellow pageant winners and contestants, artists, musicians, actors, models, and dancers, and last but not least, our survivor leaders from family violence, sex trafficking, sexual assault, stalking, and other traumatic events, who are ambassadors for these causes to share their lives and the impact they have made. To become a guest on our show, email us at MsUSATexas@gmail.com. If you would like to support victims and survivors of gender-based violence, make a tax-deductible donation to Hope Picks Global at www.hopeyxglobal.org.
Hello again, and welcome to the MsTexasShow. As always, we're not only excited to have another great conversation, but another incredible guest. So our guest today is no less of an honor and pleasure. So we have Busayo with us today. She is the 2015 award recipient and have empowered 7,245 women and girls. Wow. Through the 4-day empowerment workshop in 5 states in Nigeria. And Busayo is a World Pulse Voice of Our Future correspondent and 2009 award recipient. She's an impact leader in the World Pulse community and also an ambassador of the Nigeria World Pulse Network. Busayo is a member of Alliance for Affordable Internet in Nigeria and is working to make internet accessible and affordable for Nigerians. Busayo was awarded in 2017 Shiro in Peace Building Award by Women, Peace and Security Network with the support of Nigeria's Stability and Reconciliation Program for her 7 years of peace building work in Assume State. We're super excited to have you here with us today and super honored. And you have definitely had a tremendous journey and a lot of experiences. And you have done so much to help so many others. Busayo, if you could, let our viewers know about yourself, who you are, a little bit about you, your journey, and more about you.
Thank you so much, Elena. I'm so glad to be on this show. It's indeed my pleasure. My name, once again, viewers, is Busayo Obisakin. I grew up in a very big compound, and what informed this work that I'm doing presently is the fact that I witnessed a lot of violence against women when I was growing up. And I started fighting the cause of women when I was 9 years old. I could remember then that when my uncles are beating their wife, I will be beating them from behind. And even though the hand is so small, they know that I was telling them to stop beating their wives. And so as I was growing up, I made up my mind that I'm going to do a lot to assist and to help women that are facing violence. And as I grew up, I nursed that dream for many years before I met War Pulse in 2009. And immediately I met War Pulse, my voice was amplified. And I was able to start through the War Pulse network. I got a scholarship to US to be trained at the Empowerment Institute. That was when I started my work with Imagine. Imagine is a program of Empowerment Institute in New York. And so after my training, because of the training, I knew that every woman in Nigeria needs that training. Because at the end of the training, I was able to find my voice. I was able to discover my power, and I was able to say that indeed my dream must be lived and be a reality. And that was how I started. Immediately I came back from the empowerment, I started my NGO, and to empower women and girls. And like I've said, I have empowered about 7,000 plus. I have empowered about 10 leaders of 5 other NGOs that are also doing the work in Nigeria. And, you know, tremendously, we have done a lot. And presently, I even went further to have a shelter for the abused. And presently, as I'm talking now, there are 6 people in that shelter. One of them is a 14-year-old girl that was raped by her stepfather, and she became pregnant, and she was pushed out to start begging for ham to feed. That was how we rescued her. And this work gives me a lot of joy because I am seeing my dream as a reality before me. Many women have been empowered to have a source of income, because I knew when I was growing up that most of the violence that was facing the women was because they didn't have a source of income. They are not economically empowered, and so their husband could treat them anyhow. And that is why my work focuses on economic empowerment for women and also to save them from this violence. And this is what I've been doing for the past 13 years.
Wow, I'm really impressed. And
Thank you.
And this world needs women leaders like you. And thank you for all you're doing. And it's incredible. And
Thank you so much, Elena.
everyone has the right to live a life free from violence and fear of violence. And
Yeah.
anything that causes or threatens physical, psychological, or emotional harm to a girl limits her freedom of movement or right to an education, results in a loss of her life, or takes away any of her international recognized rights is wrong and must stop. And everyone has a role to play in ending violence against girls and women. And violence has to stop here and now, not tomorrow, but today. And women and children have to be protected. And survivors, you have my support. And back to you, Busayo, to ask you questions. Have you faced any challenges as far as the shelter or your organization?
Well, you know, life is full of challenges, and our NGO is not an exception. When I started, you know, I started for 4 years. There was no fund, nobody to help, except my few friends and my family. But what kept me going was the fact that I was seeing the result in the lives of the women I was helping. And I could see that a lot of them are actually overcome violence in their lives. I want to give you an example of a village I went to in the beginning of my journey. I went there, I organized the empowerment workshop for 40 women. And immediately we finished the empowerment workshop, I started table banking with them. I told them to start table banking to support one another so that they could be borrowing each other money and they will be starting their business. These 40 women were not doing anything. They didn't have any job. They were jobless. Many of them just followed their husband to farm. And at the end of the day, series of violence they are facing in their homes because they will have needs and the husband will say, I can't give you more than this. And fights will arise and then they will be beating black and blue. And so when I went to the village, after the empowerment workshop, they started the table banking and they were contributing little money that they had and they were borrowing each other. I want to tell you, after a year that I went back to that village, not only that all those 40 women are having a viable job, they are also have invited many other women into the group. And I left a group of 40 people and I met about 59 of them when I went back. They have, some other people have joined them when they see the kind of result that was coming out in their life. So those are the things that kept me going in the challenges that we face in the organization. I won't say fund is there now, but it comes piecemeal and the challenges is there. But the fact that results we see results in the lives of the women and girls, it still keep us going. It's the one that is propelling us. And when you have a vision, and you know this vision is formidable, the vision will keep pushing you. My vision is to have the big center that anybody in Nigeria, as big as Nigeria is, could come to, and then they have their agency developed, and then they can go back to their base. That's the plan. And I hope and I know that one day that plan is going to materialize. Because presently now, I can tell you, we have a shelter of 3-bedroom flats that can house about 12 survivors. And already we have 6 there. And the shelter we are planning will be housing about 50 survivors at a time. And we already have the landed property. We already fenced it round. And we are looking up to God for the building. And I know it's going to happen because if we are gotten to this level, then we will get to where we are going. And that is what is keeping me going in the challenges that we are facing over the years.
Of course. And,
Yeah.
and as your project Imagine, so you have to imagine, Busayo,
Yes.
and the reality will come true. Correct?
Yes, we are going to scale Imagine in Nigeria, and
you
scaling,
have to imagine also, not only Nigerians.
Yeah.
And so, so you have already seen that if victims or survivors receive new opportunities,
Yes.
can they thrive? And you already told me that you saw results. So
yeah,
if you put on new plans, they will thrive more. Is that right?
Yes, because you know, when we organize the workshop for them, after the workshop, those women, we put them into a support group and they start their table banking, the little contribution to help one another. When they are girls, what we do is that the girls would have developed during the workshop the vision they want to pursue. Some of them will want to go back to school. Some of them will want to learn a skill. When they want to learn a skill, we help them to learn a skill. When they want to go back to school, we assist them to go back to school. And we can see the kind of results that keep coming in the life of these ones.
Yes. Can you tell us how the developing agency of girls could end violence against women and girls, and in what ways?
Yes.
And they say, help.
Developing agency of girls. You know, when you develop the agency of a girl, the girl develop our own voice. You know, we grew up in an environment of silence.
Yes.
Culture of silence is very, very deep in Nigeria. And by the time a girl develop her agency, she find her voice, and then she know the kind of power that she possess. You know, many of us, we feel helpless, we live a disempowered life, that you think you are a victim, you see yourself a victim all the time. But after the agency-based empowerment workshop, they now see that they have a lot of power in them that they have not been exploring, and they start exploring those power, and they start living their dreams. So that is what the agency is doing for them. And by the time somebody finds a voice and is able to know the kind of power he has in she has in her, then she will be able to challenge the status quo, the violence that is facing her. She will challenge, because now she has a voice. Her voice, she has found her voice, and so she will be ready to continue to live her dream. And that is what the kind of result we have been seeing in the girls that we are helping. And we started a program in 2021. We target confident girls. When you, after our workshop, you become confident. You are ready to face your abuser. You are ready to challenge the status quo that is encouraging violence against you. And we have these girls all over the places now that are now activists in their communities. And the program continues. Already now, from 2021 to this time, we already have about 323 girls that are in their communities, challenging the status quo in their schools, challenging anything that want to bring violence on their way. So these are the things that we are doing.
And they are great. All the
Yeah.
And can you share with us having a shelter? Is it that important to save lives of survivors and give them a voice?
Yeah. In fact, having a shelter, I've been crying about shelter for many years. You know, as a result of not having a shelter, we have lost many lives. You can't take away the abused from their place of abuse. You know, at times you will need a survivor to be hide somewhere for some time before a case is being settled. But without a shelter, this cannot be done. And so she will be forced to go back to that environment of abuse. And then by the time you are doing the case, a lot of things are compromised. She's being victimized. She's been stigmatized. A lot of things they will be facing. And so many will commit suicide. Many is even the abuser that will eventually kill them because we don't have shelter. But now I am so happy that at least we have a shelter that can house 12 people at a time. And I don't think we will have 12 survivors at a time. So as one is going, the other will be coming. So we are so happy because it's only our organization now that is having a shelter in the whole of our state in Nigeria. And even in the whole of Nigeria, except in Abuja, that is the federal capital, then Lagos, that is the second big city in Nigeria, most of the other states don't have shelter at all. So our shelter will be servicing about 6 states. That's how important it is.
And I was checking the statistics, and I saw
Mm.
that around the world there are more animal shelters than
Than woman shelter.
yeah,
You are right. You are very correct.
I'm correct, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very terrible, you know, and
Very,
so
very.
many survivors need a home
Mm-hmm.
to escape from their abuser, and they don't have a place.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's really terrible, isn't it?
Yes. You know, when you help a woman, this is a woman that does not have any economic power at all. She can't even go and rent a place for herself. No money. And you don't have a place where to keep her for some time.
Mhm.
Why won't she go back to that place of abuse? And as a result, we have lost many.
Yeah.
Many have died in the hand of their abusers.
Of course.
Yeah.
And can you share the plans the Women Inspiration Development Center has? Does your organization have plans for bigger shelter or anything
Yes.
you
Yeah.
want to share with us?
Yeah. Like I've said, we have the plan to have a bigger shelter that will house at least 50 women at a time.
That's good.
So anybody from any part of Nigeria has 36 states. And in those 36 states, I don't think we have even up to 5 that have a shelter. So anybody can come from any part of Nigeria to run away from their abuser. And then they will get empowered. During their stay, they will get empowered, their agency developed, they will learn a skill if they need to learn a skill. And so this is the plan that we have. And that big shelter, we already have a landed property. We have even fenced the property so that there won't be anybody that will take it away from us. And so we only need now to build the shelter. And it's going to cost us about $45,000. And that is what is our major plan now.
Yes.
We want a way by which this world will be safer and better for women and girls. And it's paramount in our plan.
And I'm very happy to hear that. So
Thank you.
So you're expanding and for your future plans.
Yes.
Do you provide also advocacy, maybe legal services, or just the development?
Yeah. Not really. You know, when we have survivors like that, we have lawyers that work with us. We partner with some organizations, like we partner with FIDA in Nigeria. So all those people provide legal services. If our survivor needs legal services, we get one for them. We assist them in court. We assist them in their one-on-one counseling to actually be able to free themselves from their trauma. I'm a counseling psychologist, and I have 31 years of experience as a counseling psychologist. So the first thing I do for our survivor is to have one-on-one counseling with them, so that to relieve them of the trauma. And then if they need to see a mental health practitioner, we also have them in our network. So we do all those things. And now that we are also planning a bigger shelter and we have a little one, they can also have a place whereby at least they will have their sanity back before they come out.
So you're providing a lot of services. It's not only the development or skills and all that.
We do.
It's shelter and advocacy also.
Yes.
And
sure.
What message do you want to share with the world?
Well, my message is simple. Let's work together to make this world safer and better for women and girls. We all can see what is happening all over the world. Violence against women and girls need to be nipped in the bud. And all of us have to work together to achieve this. And this is just my message. Let us all come together. In any way you feel you can support, you can contribute, let's put our hands together and make this world safer and better for women and girls. That's my message.
So it's a message of hope, love, and unity.
Yes.
And how can someone reach you when
Well, we have our website.
okay.
We have our website, www.womeninspirationdevelopmentcenter.com.ng. We also have a page at the Global Giving. If anybody wants to support us with donation, you can find our page at the Global Giving and make your donation through that place. We also, you can also donate to us directly to our bank account through our website. It's there on our website. And we have also our social media handles, whereby you can see more about what we are doing. We are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, we are on LinkedIn. You can see all our activities and what we have been doing in all those social media and handles, and also, of course, in our website. And you can also see many of those things also at the Global Giving, because we send series of reports to our Global Giving page, our page there. So those are the ways by which we can be reached. And then our email, of course, is womeninspirationcenter@gmail.com. So those are the ways by which we can be reached. Thank you.
And I will put your contact details underneath this video. And
Yes.
And funding is essential, so you can have you can create your future expanding plans that you have. And
thank you.
And if funders are listening now, Busayo needs a lending hand, and we should help her. And do you want to share anything else before we close the show?
Yeah, well, let me just say that I like to appreciate the people that put on this show, the organizers of MsTexasShow. I want to commend you for great work that you are doing.
Thank you.
Well, you amplify the voices of some of us that are not all that known around the world. And I want to really, really appreciate you. And thank you so much, Elena, for involving us, the Warpulse Sisters, in this program. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
Thank you, Busayo, for all that you have shared and you're doing. And I want to wish you all good wishes and continue doing what you're doing. It's a great job. And thank you to our viewers for being here. And I appreciate your comments, feedback, and wonderful support. And I want to say goodbye for now and see you soon in another edition. Goodbye, Busayo.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Busayo. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.